Welcome to New Hampshire's Business. I'm Fred Coker. The steel and aluminum tariffs by the White House. What impact could they have in New Hampshire? We're going to talk just a minute to my guest about that. But first, let's remind you of what this is all about. In effect this week, the tariffs go in effect this week. 25% on steel, 10% on aluminum. Canada and Mexico are exempt. Now, the goal is to prop up U.S. steel and aluminum manufacturing. That's what's been told to the public. And tariffs removed if the country's products don't threaten U.S. security. Now this, here in New Hampshire, our top countries and commodities. Canada, Mexico, China, Ireland, and Germany are the top export countries for New Hampshire, and that means industrial machinery, electric machinery, surgical instruments, plastics, aircraft, and spacecraft components. With me to talk about this is the Commissioner of Business and Economic Affairs for the state of New Hampshire, Taylor Caswell. Welcome.
Hi, Fred.
Nice to have you here. What is the impact?
Well, I think the immediate impact is probably not as substantial as it might be in other places. But I think the longer term concern that we have is around the impact on the NAFTA negotiations and the impact of any retaliatory measures that might be taken by other countries.
Well, lucky for us, Canada and Mexico, our top two export countries, were exempted, obviously, at least for the moment until NAFTA is negotiated. But China was not. And that's one of our top export countries, and Ireland and Germany were not. And so my question is, if they retaliate with tariffs of their own, this is going to hurt some New Hampshire businesses, right?
Oh, it will definitely hurt, and it really depends on the degree of retaliation. You know, there is a substantial contract underway right now between Boeing and China to buy a substantial number of airplanes. We have over 100 subcontractors in New Hampshire that are part of that contract, and there's quite a number.
Steel and aluminum.
That is definitely steel and aluminum, and if China were to retaliate, that's the kind of that would be the moment when we would start to feel it. Unfortunately,
I know that Governor Sununu and the entire congressional delegation expressed their deep concern to the White House over the tariffs, and I know this was before Canada and Mexico were exempted. But has any word come back?
Not that I'm aware of. I think the fact that we did see an exemption for Canada and Mexico is definitely a step in the right direction for us.
More than 2,600 companies and 20,000 jobs in New Hampshire, last count. That's what is at stake here in terms of exports, and a lot of them that use steel and aluminum. What could this cost New Hampshire? Have you got any idea? And I know that's an early question, but have you got a ballpark?
Well, I think the number of jobs that we have in New Hampshire that have an association with steel and aluminum manufacturing is around 31,000 jobs. Yeah. Now, that's direct and indirect, and that's a big number, and I don't know that they would all necessarily be impacted by this. But our bigger concern really is how this is going to play out over the next couple of months between the NAFTA negotiations and any potential retaliation.
For those companies that do suffer some retaliatory tariff impact, is the state willing to give some assistance at all to any of these companies? What do you have in mind?
Oh, we haven't had any conversations yet about that because we just don't really know what the impacts are going to be.
Sure.
Right. Sure. But this has happened before. I mean, we've had some tariffs that have put in, I think, in the early 2000s, and the job loss was in the couple hundreds range. So it's hard to say exactly where this is going.
So what's your department doing at this point? Just waiting to see? You're talking obviously to some New Hampshire businesses?
Oh yeah, no, we've heard from quite a lot of businesses about the impacts that this could have, and you know, once it even gets beyond that, it's to the point where if the tariffs were going to be coming in, how are those tariffs going to be done in a fair way that represents all the different roles that our companies play in the export business?
Final, and let's change subjects real quick. New Hampshire ranks #1 for economic opportunity and 5th best in the country on a number of criteria from U.S. News and World Report. You must have been happy with that.
We are thrilled, absolutely thrilled. I mean, it's not any surprise to any of us who live here that we're ranked so high, but it is a great testament to the business community and the business environment that we have here in New Hampshire and that we're working to build.
Taylor Caswell, Commissioner of Business and Economic Affairs for the state of New Hampshire. Thank you.
You bet, Fred.
And if you'd like to listen to some of that again, because it is going to be a harbinger of what's ahead, you can go to WMUR.com, click on menu at the top left-hand corner, and then click on local news, and then scroll down to New Hampshire's Business.